Hey, what is up, YouTube? Got a new battle for you here against a Drizzle team. And I'm facing another Japanese trainer, so no biggie, no problem at all. So I lead off with Lanturn, which is a pretty decent lead against a Rain Dance team. Not Rain Dance, Drizzle. But anyways, he leads off with Politoad, which is completely expected. But something else, though, that he was expecting to be expected was an electric move, which is why he swaps in Quagsire. But I predict his switch, and I go for the Scald. So, pretty good play, but judging by the damage, it's hard to tell if he's physically or specially bulky, so I don't want to stay in and take an EQ, so I go into Vaporeon. And you'll notice really quick, most of you, that judging by this damage, that's definitely not a physically bulky Vaporeon. So, I am a timid Scarfed one, and I do have Hidden Power Fire, which does come into play later on in the match. I was thinking I had Hidden Power Electric, but I do not, and I probably should have looked up my stats or noticed something was off before I used it, but anyways, go for the Surf, hit the Gyarados, does decent amount of damage for being resisted, as I go into Sceptile expecting Dragon Dance, maybe a Waterfall, but instead he's actually a Toxic Stalling one, which is weird, but I like it because it's creative. But anyways, just taking toxic damage here as he goes for the Protect, not mattering at all, because on this turn I do go for the Substitute. And this is the variant with Unburden. I do not have the Flying Gem, I have the Grass Gem instead, which really doesn't come into play at all in this match whatsoever. But I go for the Swords Dance, so now, at this point, I'm easily ready to take down this Gyarados, but yeah, you'll see that doesn't happen, so he goes for the Taunt. So it really isn't a big deal at all. I've got a sub. I've already got +2. I really don't need any other boost. I'm just fine. So he goes for the Protect on this next turn, which was expected because he's a Toxic Staller. But that just wasn't a big deal, the first one. But the next turn was the turn that completely bothered me, because you'll see I'm in Overgrown range. I have +2 Grass Gem, Leaf Blade. Oh my gosh, that just completely would have annihilated Gyarados. +2 Grass Gem, Overgrown, Stab, Leaf Blade I would easily do at least half to anything. Well, maybe not anything, but you get it. But anyways, I go down to poison damage because Gyarados had to double Protect, which bothered me a lot. But no big deal. He goes for the Toxic, and I go for the Scald, predicting him to switch out to Quagsire. But I'm guessing he predicted my over-prediction, staying in. I really should have just gone for the safe Volt switch, but it really doesn't come into play that much in the end. But now he goes into his Politoad. I don't know why, because I could have easily gone for the Volt switch and done a decent chunk of damage to him right off the bat. But I go for the Heal Bell to get rid of my toxic damage, poison, and I get lefties. So now he goes for the Psychic, and I'm kind of expecting him to be Scarfed, because that doesn't do as much as like Spexed. So I go for the Volt switch, and does around 35%. So I swap out and I go right into Vaporeon. And this was the turn where my Hidden Power fail comes into play. I thought it was electric, I go for it. But since it's fire, he resists it, it's in the rain, it does diddly squat. So he goes for the Psychic, does a decent chunk, but nothing too big. So I go right back into Lanturn because I forgot about Hidden Power Fire, and he goes for another Psychic. So Like I said, judging by the damage, it's kind of obvious he's scarfed. I don't think he's even modest, because these really aren't doing a lot either. But Lanturn can take a decent amount of them anyways, so I go for the Volt Switch, and I take him down into the low orange, nearly into the red zone, but no biggie. So I go into my Vaporeon, as I can just go straight for the Surf and take him out with the Stab Rain Boosted Surf, so that's cool. So he still has his Quagsire and his Gyarados left, but as long as I can make the right predictions or just make the right plays in general, I should be okay at this point. So he gets the Intimidate off. I stay in and just go for the Surf because I want one more hit on him before I go into Lanturn, and he Toxics me, just like he has with everything else on the team. But yeah, the Toxic on Vaporeon really doesn't come into play at all, because, you know, I'm at a decent amount of HP now. I'm at 46, but I can still switch out and not be too worried about being taken down by the poison damage. But anyways, I go into Lanturn, predicting his Protect. I predict right. So he gets his lefties, and I get my lefties. And like I said, I don't know what his fourth move was. If it wasn't an attack, I'd be kind of surprised. But anyways, he goes for the Toxic. I have no idea what his fourth move was. My guess would be Waterfall, but doesn't matter at all. I go for the Volt Switch, and that will easily take out the Gyarados. 4 times effective plus Stab. Yeah, no way you're living that. So now, I've got 2 pokes down, 1 in red, and 1, I think now Vaporeon's going to be in red after toxic damage. Yeah, it looks like it. Okay, so I got 2 pokes in the red, both poison, and he's got a Quagsire. But doing the damage calcs, Surf would have done a maximum of 64%. Hydro Pump, not so sure. I'll leave calcs as an annotation to let you know. But that's the match. Easily taking out the Quagsire in the rain with that Hydro Pump. And that will be the game for today. Alrighty, then comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.